Well, it's now 15 days until I turn 40. So almost 2 weeks. 2 weeks as of tomorrow. And today was a very interesting day. It was a great Sunday. Fun day, as I like to say. You know, got to connect with my tribe this morning, have a great workout down at David Land Park here in Vancouver, and see a lot of friends that I haven't seen for a while. And then on top of that, I got a daddy-daughter date afternoon with Chardonnay, my 13-year-old. And this evening, you'll see right here, Vancouver Real to Whatever It Is. Great podcast with Andy and Mike Zaremba. They're also the owners of the Float House. And you guys have seen me doing some posts on the Float House because I've discovered floating as a fantastic way for me to just really get rid of a lot of stress in my life, or at least help me deal with a lot of stress in my life. I wish I could say it gets rid of it all, but it definitely helps me become more mindful and deal with some stressful situations, especially as it teaches me just to be more mindful of myself. And I had what was really cool, and I got a video coming out later. I don't have it ready to post right now, but Chardonnay, my 13-year-old, did her first float today. And I interviewed her before the float and then right after the float. And it's really interesting to see the experience that she had, which, you know, we can all benefit from. You know, Andy and I had a fantastic conversation today, and I'm looking forward to sharing that later with you when the podcast comes down. But it was just really a conversation between two dudes, two fathers. And we were talking about certain stresses and motivations in life, and just really talking about the world. And you know, it's really easy to be ruled by fear in a lot of situations now. You can't help but turn on the TV and pick up any sort of media. There's a lot of things to be fearful of. You know, the world's an interesting place, and we seem to be having a lot of messages and a lot of images and stories projected upon us that are fairly negative in nature. And I'm not saying to turn a blind eye to it and to block out the negativity, but it's interesting that fear becomes a motivator for doing or not doing things, right? It either brings us closer to a certain resolve or it takes us away from a resolve, such as fear of missing out, right? Fear of missing out on an opportunity. And sometimes we overcommit ourselves to things because of that fear, or a fear of just not following through on something. And we were talking about fear not being a great motivator. And it's interesting when you start looking at some of the things in our lives and why we do the things that we do, when you start to really introspect, well, why am I doing the things that I'm doing, you know? And Andy really, he had some wisdom bombs tonight talking to him, and it really resonated. And yeah, so I'm definitely, you know, especially speaking with my kids, trying to be mindful of the language and how does one motivate another person? Is it through fear? Is it through taking things away? You know, and I think as parents, it's, I don't know. I know there's been times in my life it's like, hey, don't do that. If you do that, then you won't get this. And it's this interesting way of motivating, which a lot of time is demotivating, right? It's, yeah. Anyways, I'm pretty tired and I'm starting to ramble, so I'm going to cut this short. But I'm interested. What's your take on fear? Fear in life. Do you think it's a positive or a negative, or maybe you're neutral on it? Is it a necessary motivator for us? You know, it's just a really interesting concept when you start to analyze the choices that we make. Is it fear-based, or is it something else? Anyways, as always, this is part of the 40 Days to 40 series, hashtag, and I'm now 15 days out. Yeah, wow, it's getting close. Bye guys, be well.